call the meeting to order. Everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I should have had you guys come up and lead us for crying out. I forgot about that. You guys could have done that. All right. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Wonder Jim.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Steffes.
Here.
Gardine.
Here.
Palmer. Here. DeHaan.
Here.
And Highborn.
Here.
Full house.
All right. Good. Thank you. Please note, as a courtesy to members of the audience and the Board of Education, please silence your cell phones. Public will only be able to speak during public comment if you have signed up. And I have 3 forms, so we're good there. Great. All right. So first on the agenda, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion passes. Presentation.
Yes. So we are very fortunate to have Grandville Elementary with us tonight. Just an incredible school. And we have several people with us, as you can tell. And I think Mr. Scotto's here. Oh, there he is. All right. Take her away.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us. I think we packed the room, so thank you to our amazing staff that is here, Miss Ackhurst, our amazing assistant principal, and of course the students. This would not be possible without the students. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our PowerPoint presentation. Real quickly, as we started the new year, we have, everyone comes up with New Year's resolutions. And what happens to those New Year's resolutions once February hits? They go down the tank, right? So we read a book called One Word, and there's an adult version called One Word That Will Change Your Life, and we have a gift for all of you tonight. Hopefully you'll be able to read this and come up with your one word and learn about it tonight. But there's also a kid version of it. It's called One Word for Kids. And there's a boy in the book who goes through, and it's about his journey through persevering and finding one word to make him have the best year yet. So our students tonight have picked one word that they're going to talk about. So what is one word? I'm just going to go ahead and read this real quick. One word explains how to simplify your life by focusing on one word for the entire year. Mrs. Ackhurst and I went into each classroom in January, and we actually have the same word, which is exercise or health. And so we're going to keep each other accountable by texting each other, which has been going very well. So, and the kids ask us every day, hey, have you been doing your exercise? So they've been holding us accountable too. Inside the book, there's an action plan and a simple process to discover your one word. And then the one word focuses on physical, emotional, mental, relational, spiritual, and financial well-being. And here's the picture of the books. It's by John Gordon. And the One Word for Kids, we had all our staff read the book to their students in the beginning of the year. That was kind of their welcome back gift. Some teachers read it in the fall. Other teachers read it in January when we were reviewing our expectations. So what do we ask for the kids? We ask them to identify one word that they want to live by, but in not just one word, we want them to have a game plan. So our students tonight are going to tell you a little bit about their game plan. And it's for all ages, and it's just a great, engaging way. I'm going to play a quick video by John Gordon. It's about 2 minutes long, and see if I can get the mouse over to the link here, and then we'll hear from our students.
But what happens a few months later? A few months later, we might lose the vision. So it's so important to reinforce it and to keep that vision alive. It's like marathon runners. When do most marathon runners quit the marathon? At what mile? Just shout it out. Some would say the first mile. No, you're just getting started so you don't give up. I thought it might be the last mile, but the second least amount of people quit in the last mile. Even though they've been running the longest, they've been running the farthest, they should be the most tired, they don't give up. Why is that? You can see it. Because you can see it, you keep on moving towards it, even though you're physically tired and drained. The power of the mind, the power of the vision keeps you moving towards it. Most people quit in the 20th mile. That is where we lose our vision. We're physically tired, we're mentally drained, so what happens? We just stop running. So I want to encourage you, keep your vision alive, and it will keep you alive. And I have found a powerful way to keep our vision alive. And it's a one-word vision. One word that we can all use to be our driving force for the year. A one-word vision/purpose. So 3 years ago, I started doing this, and my word was purpose. I wanted my purpose to be greater than my challenges. So I had my word for the year, and it made such a difference as I traveled all over the place. I focused on my purpose. My wife's word was intentional. She wanted to be more intentional as a mom and stop allowing the distractions from keeping her from being her best. Let's face it, guys, distractions are the enemy of greatness. Would you agree with that? Oh, yeah. Reality TV exists because people watch it. When I watch the Kardashians, I feel better about my own family. But it's a distraction. So my wife said, okay, no more distractions. She focused on her word of intentional. Even did this with my kids. My 12-year-old son came up with the word focus. He wanted to focus more in school and also on the tennis courts. And my daughter, 14 years old, she came up with her word. It was motivation. Great word for her because she needed it. We're at Pepperdine University. I'm speaking to all the students at Pepperdine. She came with me. I'm done speaking. All the students were running up to my daughter. Jade, it's so encouraging having John Gordon as your dad. Does he just encourage you all the time? She was so serious. She looked at him. She said, yeah, he tries to encourage us, but we don't listen. But you know what? It's okay because she has her own word of motivation. And now that's become a driving force in her life. So my hope, my goal is that everyone here will leave with a word that becomes your driving force for the year. What's going to drive you to be your best this year? What's going to drive you to bring out the best in your team? And then I want to encourage you to actually have every one of your associates come up with their word. If you go to Hendrick Auto, I've worked with them, and you go to their headquarters, you will see a car in the headquarters of all the words of all the employees on the car. Words like commitment and passion and service and teamwork and dedication, and everyone has a different word that's meant for them, but these words they see every day when they come into work, and it's become an inspiration, a driving source to help them be their best. And I want to encourage you to do the same. Have your word, have your vision, and let that create a more positive future of where you want to go this year.
All right, so in our school, if you come by, our students have put snowflakes on the wall with their word on it, which has been awesome. Each student in the classroom has come up with a poster to put their one word on it. So without further ado, we're going to hear from our students tonight. So we have Sophia. You come on up, Sophia. And we have Annika, Blake, Braylon, Finn, Addie, Claire, Jacob, David, Kaya, Shreya, and JJ. And students, you could stay right there, and when I call your name, our presenter, you can come on over here. So let's start with Sophia. Come on over, Sophia. And we told her today the cutest get to go first, so. And the other kids got mad.
Speak in the microphone. And we give you a big chair to jump in. Can you get there?
My one word is strong.
One more. What's your game plan?
So I can do the monkey bars.
Annika.
It's the best thing.
Good job!
Good job.
My one word is artistic.
And what is your game plan?
To try to do a drawing that you draw your face half normal, and then you draw your face what you would look like if you were someone from Spider-Man, and I'm trying to do that better.
Awesome. Cool. Good job.
My one word is kind.
And what is your game plan to be kind?
To help others.
Love it. Great job. Braylon.
My one word is extra.
And what's your game plan for being extra?
To have extra perseverance. My one word is yet.
And why is it yet? What's your game plan?
If someone can't do something then that they can't do yet, I'll basically teach them how to say it. My one word is positivity, and my game plan is to be more positive and more patient.
My one word is love, and my game plan is to love my brother more, and to basically so I kind of stay to myself a lot usually because I like being alone. So I kind of want to see my family more too.
Love it.
My one word is consistent. My game plan to stay consistent for the whole year is to read an extra 10 pages every night to increase my reading stamina.
My one word is mathematician. I want to ask my teacher to print out more math pages for me every night so I can practice more.
My one word is confident, and my game plan for that is to try to speak to people a little bit more because I usually just stay to myself.
My one word is growth, and my game plan for growth is to practice things more so I can get better at them.
My one word is confidence. For my game plan is to be able to think about the positives instead of the negatives.
Students, you did an awesome job. One thing that we were very amazed by is no child that we picked had the same word. We had confidence and confident, but we did not have all the same words. Very amazing, and they came up all by themselves. So thank you, students, for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Awesome. That's my one word, awesome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys for coming up and doing that. That's fantastic.
Great.
Great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing tonight.
Thank you, Grandville.
We'll give it a second, let you guys file out a little bit. So you're more than welcome to stay, but.
That's awesome. Unless I know that's a that was funny. Heroes and we get it.
All right, we'll move on here. So next item is the consent action agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. On to regular action items. 4A, high school security improvements. Apologize, give me a minute, let me get there.
Try to be
Is-
separated.
Okay. Yeah, okay. It is recommended the Board of Education authorize Owens Ain Kimball, OAK, to issue a letter of intent in the amount indicated to the contractor listed, pending confirmation that all requirements of the contract documents have been met. Upon receipt by OAK of all appropriate documentation, it is further recommended that the Board of Education award a contract to the contractor as specified below. General Trades, Distinctive Group, $110,000. Doors, Frames, Hardware, Architectural Hardware, $264,225. Aluminum glass glazing, Reliable Glass, $153,360. Electrical, Bazan Electric, $524,642. Communications, Bazan, $13,350. Final Cores and Keying, allowance $12,000. The qualified bid package for the contractor specified above, including alternates, totals $1,077,577. Contingency of $107,758 is included, bringing the project total to $1,185,335. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support.
And I'll turn things over to Heather, and we have some people here that also may be able to answer questions if we can.
Sure. So I will introduce the people that are here, though, real quick. We've Jordan Johnson with GMB, Fred Wilkes with our maintenance department, Arlen Cribley with maintenance, and then Rob Gulliver with OAK. This first project is going to replace the interior classroom doors and install the wireless locks that were approved by you back in February of 2023 at the high school. This will be a similar system to what's already in place at the middle school, the GEC, and what is being installed at Oakstown. It is part of our our Series 2 safety portion of the bond, and looking to complete that this summer.
Is it necessary to replace the doors in order to install the locks?
It is, okay. Yes. Some of those doors are old, and the side lights have the wire and the glass. Yeah, so we need to get rid of that. Plus, too, not all of the frames are hollow, so you can't just add it that way. Yep.
And you're replacing it with the glazed or the safety school. Yeah.
Okay. With regard to the general trades, to me, I'm just. Number one, there wasn't that many bidders. But the bid difference is half. What did they not understand?
So we had it's an aggressive schedule. There's a lot of work to be done. So that's part of the reason why we didn't.
They probably put a premium.
So they put a premium on their bid.
Got it.
And if I remember right, they even had a clarification or qualification in their bid that the schedule would be tough.
A little too aggressive for them. Okay. All right.
So we're replacing the actual jams then too?
Yeah, the door frames.
The frame, all right.
Yeah.
Can that be done without damaging the carpet? Because we just put carpet in a lot of it. All right.
That was a yes. They're going like this. Just for the minutes.
Now, these groups, or the contractors, are these new to us? Because I don't remember some of these, or many of these in the past, having worked with us.
We've worked with architectural hardware,
Okay.
glass, and glazing electric.
Okay, so those, all right, those are the bigger ones. Okay. Fair enough. Any other questions? All right. All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Like a roll call, please.
Thank you. Roll call.
Just due to the amount?
No, you're right.
Absolutely, we're a million here. Okay, Klein.
Yes.
Steffes.
Yes.
Gardine. Yes. Dahan.
Yes.
Palmer. Yes. Wonderjet.
Yes.
Highboard.
Yes.
Okay. All clear.
All right, motion passes. Great, thank you. On to the next item, 4B, the high school stadium turf replacement. It is recommended the Board of Education authorize Owens Kimball, OAK, to issue a letter of intent in the amount indicated to the contractor listed, pending confirmation that all requirements of the contract documents have been met. Upon receipt by OAK of all appropriate documentation, It is further recommended that the Board of Education award a contract to the contractor as specified below. Turf replacement is the AstroTurf Great Lakes and the amount of $902,588. The qualified bid package from the contractor specified above includes alternates, totals $902,588. Contingency of $90,259 is included, bringing the total project to $992,847. Can I get a motion?
So moved?
Support.
And as you can see, our turf was installed May 2012, so its lifespan is done, and that's why we're back with you today to approve this and get it installed for next year.
So, question on the bids and the alternates. Are we going with a black or a green for the fill?
It'll be a green infill.
It will.
Yes.
Okay. And when we first did this, it was, I don't know, $1,025,000 probably?
It was. I went back and looked. It was just over $1 million, but we also upgraded the stadium lights and the track at that time. The turf itself was $710,000.
Correct. So from that, at the time we did that, what Ron told me, our old superintendent, is that whenever that has to be changed out, we're going to have to tear up the track again. So obviously, in looking at this, that is not the case.
That's correct.
So what kind of equipment is going to go over that track that it's not going to cause any
They
problems?
bring like a specialized bridging that will bridge that track, so they get the equipment back and forth.
Okay, all right, that's nice.
Maybe they didn't have the bridging back in the day.
They probably didn't, but, so, lifespan. We were told 10 years for the first one. Are we still living on 10 years, or with all this technology change, are we gonna get more out of it?
Like you say, you can push a little bit more out of it.
Well, and we did with this.
Yeah,
We shouldn't have.
but 10 years is
Yeah.
the average.
Okay.
10 years.
That's what you know, is it just depends on how much you use it, right? So if you're using it every day, you're gonna get 10 years. If you use it, sparingly and once a week, a little bit more.
There you go.
How often do we have to replenish the turf fill?
So we do it twice a year. We have companies come out twice a year to do that for us.
Half of it's in my garage. Kids in sports
It's around our
marching
house.
band.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
If you want it
We're always on
back.
July and October.
Okay.
What's our payback on that? Like, is there any revenue that is?
You got it all excited.
Heather's got
Happy
Sam's.
birthday, Heather.
I am so excited about that question. Yeah, so Kayla and I were crunching some numbers on that payback, and we got 12 years out of it, so it amounted to about just under $60,000 a year. But if you multiply that out by the number of students at the high school over those 12 years, is $32 per student.
In the usage too, I mean, I can't imagine, as much as that field is used by Grandville, we rent it out and so forth, I can't imagine a regular grass field being able to handle the amount of use either of those fields get.
We even got a graduation out of it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, even $60,000 a year, if you think about maintenance, mowing, striping, like
Playability.
Playability, yeah.
Safety, yeah. Yep.
Do we have rough dates, like when it will start, and it has to wait till track is done,
We're
right?
working with the athletic department, we have to start sometime in May to get it done.
Brent's ready.
Whatever
So we're.
is the target the first football game? I don't even know when that is, but.
It's tight.
Does that cut any track events and move them to another location then?
Yeah, I'm working with, the athletics, and
Okay.
we're gonna move, I think, a couple things, but I think most of it's at Linden, but we talked about it, so.
But I mentioned to Roger, but we have a second turf field, so he said that we are budgeting to, I don't know how long that's been in there, but to replace that in.
6 years?
6 years, yeah. Yep.
I'm like an elephant.
That right. I have a question. Actually, it's a very important question. So I see here dogs, DAWGS. So is it DOGS or is it DAWGS?
Yes.
Yes.
Can be
Because
bulldogs,
you
can be dogs.
We can be either or, because I know
Yeah.
you say go Bulldogs, DOGS, and then I
Yeah.
see here dogs. So I just
You
want to be
gotta cover them
sure that you are not misspelling this.
I
or that
think
we're
it's, yeah, I think it's universal. I
universal.
think we use both.
Okay. There it's been said, so we're good.
So, just out of curiosity, I see the Grandville, or the Bulldog mascot, right, in the end zone. Is that painted in?
Oh.
Stitched.
That's gonna be stitched, all right, so, I just go back to the first generation, when we had these, we had so many issues with any of the creases, anything like that coming
Well,
out,
they have new
but this is,
equipment now, the way they stitch that.
okay, all right,
Before they had to cut that out and stitch it in, now the equipment can stitch it as they go.
okay.
All right, if there are.
We'll hold you to that, because that looks pretty fine detail, right? I know how bad it was with the wide mark, the hash marks and everything.
If there are improvements to the stadium, does that turf remain
Yes.
really, like, that is our turf for 10 years?
So I think we'll need to come back with the track eventually here.
Okay.
Before the 10 years.
All right, that's my question.
One more question. I know Coach Stiegel had wanted more white lines on the north end up there. Is that?
No, we asked him about that, and he did not want, he likes what he's doing. I asked him if he wanted them stitched in, he said he did not.
All right.
He looked at it.
So
All right.
we'll paint them if,
Yeah.
All right.
if he needs them, we'll paint them.
Is this the same company that installed the first one? Different?
No.
We looked at stuff that they've done, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yeah. It's AstroTurf, they've been around for quite a while. Current turf's 8
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Palmer, yes. Gardine,
Yes.
Dahan,
Yes.
Stefas,
Yes.
Wondergem,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Highboard.
Yes,
Okay.
motion passes.
Pass the room.
All right, 4C, the Century Park Learning Center roofing. It is recommended the Board of Education authorize Onanes Kimball, OAK, to issue a letter of intent in the amount indicated to the contractor listed pending confirmation that all requirements of the control documents have been met upon receipt by OAK of all appropriate documentation. It is further recommended that the Board of Education award a contract to the contractor as specified below for the roofing, modern roofing, in the amount of $874,000. Qualified bid package from the contractor specified above, including alternates, totals $874,000. Contingency of $87,400 is included, bringing the project total to $961,400. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
Okay.
Yes, so this will replace the roof membrane at Century Park and then any damaged installation that they find during the process. Right now, it's got that river rock on top of it. The technology has changed and that river rock will not be going back on top of it. I'm sorry, I forgot to put it in here, but it will have a 30-year warranty. And again, this is our second sinking fund project for the summer of 2024.
So, can you explain voluntary alternate for me, please?
Yeah, the specified system was a fully adhered or glued down system for that cover board, and the contractor gave out that voluntary alternate for a $30,000 deduct to do a mechanically fastened cover board system that maintains that same 30-year warranty.
So, what I'm curious about is, if you look at these bids on the face, they were not the lowest bid.
They were not.
Can you, so how did they just get under the lowest?
With
You
that-
understand why I'm asking this
So
question?
when they submit their bid, there's a spot on the bid form for them to put any voluntary alternates. Sometimes contractors do, sometimes they don't. Modern Roofing gave us this voluntary alternate on their bid form on bid day. So they already gave us that value, and we entertained it, met with GMB and Arlen and Fred, and decided to take a look at taking that. So that put them, below the lowest bidder.
So the other piece that I'm just cautioning you, and I guess I want to follow up when we're all done with this, Heather, is there's a contingency of 10%. And I just want to make sure that I would like to know what this costs at the very end. I want to see how tight we are to that estimate, okay?
Yep.
Just to make sure we're all on the up and up on this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the voluntary alternate that they offered, would that become our new standard then for other roofs going forward?
Any contractor can submit that under bid.
But I mean, we would specify and when our bid spec goes out, we would specify the kind of attachment we would want, right?
Depends on the roof deck underneath and whether or not you can attach the fasten to it or not. Like if it's a metal deck compared to a Tecnum deck.
So how many roofs do we have that's very similar to Century Park?
None. It's only ballast roof.
Okay.
So if we didn't have all that rock on there, we might be able to do a different system, but we have to remove all that rock. So they took several cores out there. They feel like most of the insulation's dry, which is good for us, so.
Well, and again, when you have the rock, until you start pulling it up, you're not going to know because it's all hidden. Are there any leaks in the building right now that you're dealing with? Any repairs?
Not this year. We're doing pretty good. We spent a little bit of money last year, make sure we didn't have any leaks this year.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions? All right, Barb, can we do a roll call?
Okay. Wonderjump.
Yes.
Palmer, yes. Klein.
Yes.
Steppes.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
Dahan.
Yes.
Hybor.
Yes. All right, thank you. On to 4D, Grandville Education Center Phase 5. It is recommended the Board of Education authorize Owens Aim Kimball, OAK, to issue a letter of intent in the amount indicated to the contractor listed, pending confirmation that all requirements of the contract documents have been met. Upon receipt by OAK of all appropriate documentation, it is further recommended that the Board of Education award a contract to the contractor as specified below. General Trades, JKB Construction, $106,060. Casework to Flairwood, $26,962. The LPDA to Phoenix Interiors in the amount of $72,975. Flooring to Lansing Tile and Mosaic, $23,899. Painting to Galveston, $7,599. Fire protection to Triad Fire Suppression, $21,400. DDC Controls to Train in the amount of $9,995. Mechanical plumbing to Lamphere Service Company, $96,835. Electrical to Excel Electric, $119,200. Communications to Moss in the amount of $5,868. Electronic security to Solar Technology, $13,009. And then commissioning to Functional Consulting Services in the amount of $3,000. The qualified bid package from the contractor specified above, including alternates, totals $506,802. Contingency of $50,680 is included, bringing the project total to $557,482. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support. And we're very excited to be hitting this phase because it does add a few more classrooms and, of course, does some more to our Pathways program, provides some better spacing, in my opinion. Heather?
Yeah, so we also applied for a grant through IFF Caring for Michigan Future Facilities Improvement Fund project, and we were awarded $131,681 to use towards this project. Nice. So very excited about that, and that is one of the reasons why we are looking to jump this project ahead of. We initially were thinking the Century Park boilers for the sinking fund, but once we found out we received this grant, we decided to move forward with this. So excited that we're getting there. So there should be one more phase in the GEC, and that will build out the last 3 classrooms and some of the professional development auditorium space, as well as a small cafeteria in that building. So
great.
Just went on a tour of it a few months ago, and so cool already, but I'm really excited about that. The new classrooms and the PE space especially. I think that would be a really nice addition to our to our district and opened up a lot of new opportunities possibly across the county. I do have one question. The only bid that stood out to me was communications. The bid we took was $5,800. The highest bid was $42,000.
Yeah.
Such a massive difference.
Oh.
That one is just such an extreme.
So that high bidder, they did not come to our pre-bid meeting, they didn't come to the building to look at it at all. I think that they're pricing out a brand new system, which the building doesn't need. It's just filling out those two bathrooms, so.
Thank you.
Who wrote the grant for us?
Yay.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I know that's not easy. The second question I have is, I think it was the last meeting we were talking, it was a while ago, but we were talking about keeping things local. And I noticed that we have some flooring with Lansing, and I've personally done stuff with River City flooring at my previous job in the facility. And they did a fantastic job for me. Unless there's something crazy here, I'm thinking it's $31. Why don't we go with someone local
Yeah.
versus someone so far away?
So the hard part about that is the number of bidders that we've been getting in those categories. And yes, we did have that conversation internally, and felt that if we start doing some of that, there might be this hesitation for additional companies to bid. And we want to make sure that we are getting, good pricing throughout. So that was part of the reason, because yes, we did talk about that.
I mean, I used to
times.
call them, and they would, the next day, or that day, they're there, and they're fixing a problem.
I did too.
I'm gonna,
I feel like
Heather,
you get
I
into a
think
slippery
the
slope.
choir is saying something. I mean, you're talking less than 0.5% difference.
$31.
What's the-
And, okay, it has been the desire of the board for many years, I think Barb can attest to that, that we try and strive for local bidders where we can. So, in this situation, even Ritzma is close, but for it to be so much of a minute, and I understand, but,
Yeah,
do we ever have a problem with our major trades of getting quality bids? Now, I'm not saying lots of bids, I'm saying quality bids. Do we ever have an issue with that?
We sometimes have an issue where we only get one bid, and we have had that a couple of times recently.
And we have that in this realm tonight, we've
Yep.
seen that, right?
Yes, yep.
But this looks like it's a commodity piece. I'm gonna tell you, my recommendation is to take River City. That is if we're gonna make a request tonight, I wanna make that request, is that we award the flooring to River City.
I saw that as well when looking through the numbers, and I don't disagree. My curiosity, though, adds towards what you were saying, is we don't have clear guidelines on what local is. Is that in the district boundaries? We don't have clear guidelines on what the overage, a percentage that we are acceptable to. And the guidelines also don't prevent us from choosing the best quality product. Someone could be local, but not the best contractor to work with, too. So I think that it could air us into dangerous waters if we make a rule like that we might not want to use in the future. But when we know we have a list of qualified folks that are all generally within the region, I understand the choice for Lansing too. So I don't know what is right or wrong here, but I'm just saying I'm concerned about the potential implications down the road of, you did this here, why not do it there?
I think you're applying a hard and fast rule. This board has never done that. This board, I am not going to shy away from being a good steward.
Right.
And also, looking at the fact that they would only be on this bid list if they hit the qualifications. And I believe we've done work with River City multiple times. And I assume we've had we're satisfied with their work because they're on this list again.
Just to be clear, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm
And I
saying these
understand
are
that.
questions I have in my
I'm
mind
thinking
that I'm
about
wondering
that.
how we deal with in the future.
How many
And I
times-
want to make sure we're also good stewards to allow.
And how many
them that
times have we applied this?
I don't know.
During
3 times maybe?
Oh, I was gonna say I think during my time maybe once.
We haven't done it very often.
Not very often.
And we're not held to the lowest bid.
No,
correct?
you're not held to the
That's- I
lowest
know, of
bid. It
course,
is.
We're looking after our taxpayers'
It's always
dollars,
been
but
best quality,
cost.
right? Based
and
on
a record of, I guess, quality service that we've experienced.
yeah.
Have we used
Yep.
Lansing for anything?
That's what I was going to ask.
Oh, good question.
Grandville has not specifically, but Owens Kimball has. And when we bring our recommendations to you guys, we bring the lowest responsible, complete bid, you know, that meeting all the contractual requirements. You know, we feel it's our duty to you guys to do that.
So we have used them before, I'm hearing that. This is one bid. It doesn't mean we're not using River City in the future, and we've used them in the past. Does it make sense? I mean, you could go one of two ways. We could, you know, we could change it, or we could go as recommended and then look at a guideline for the future that is more defined on local and more defined on that. I mean, I don't think this is their only chance at bidding for our stuff. So I think you really can't go wrong either way.
Is there
That's
a
what I'm
chance we
saying.
could change it and define?
I still think it's rare that it occurs. And I think this board has been responsible in how we've managed these type of operations and bids. And if I have to make a motion, I'll make a motion that we, why don't we do that? We, for the flooring work, we accept the second lowest bid, which is a $31 difference.
You
For
already
flooring.
have a motion on.
We
the
have a
floor.
motion, but I'm telling you, if you want the motion, I'm willing to put it out there. If you, or do you want a straw poll to see how the board feels about this?
All I'm saying is you have a motion out there. You probably should do something with that motion.
Well, if that is the case, then I will be voting no on that particular motion, because then it's as is. I'm not going to do that.
I'd like to hear your thoughts about.
From a timing perspective, I guess what I would ask is, since there is a motion out there, can we vote on each individual line item? And then if one of those line items were to be turned down, make a motion for that line item. Would that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would that work?
Yeah.
You still have a motion on
fine with
it.
that.
You gotta do
Right.
something.
Right, I meant just your thoughts on making a change up.
I'm okay making a change. In fact,
Okay.
part of I didn't have the opportunity to sit through post bids because I was out of town, and so I saw this when I was writing it, and I was like, ugh.
I know it's like going through it too.
Which, yeah.
We don't necessarily need the motion, but if there's contention on the board, then I would rather do a motion. So we understand the contention, and we can vote around it.
River City doesn't have any issues making the schedule?
So we would have to vote it down and
Yeah, I would vote down the motion and then do a new motion.
do a new motion for each individual.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Let's do a roll call vote then.
Okay, Wondergem,
No.
Klein,
No.
Steffes,
No.
Gardine,
No.
Palmer, no, DeHaan,
Oh,
Hyborg,
No.
did not pass.
Okay.
No pass.
So now we reconsider. Yep.
individual.
Yep. So reconsider the 4D. For the general trades, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Can I get a roll call?
Klein.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Wonderjub.
Yes.
DeHaan.
Yes.
Palmer. Yes. Hybord.
Yes.
Okay. That is general trades passes.
All right. Casework for Flairwood. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
What's the,
I
do say, do we-
had my brain.
what's the value we want to do roll call votes at? I'm just trying to think through that.
You need to do it
Yeah.
on large
10,000.
ticket.
10,000, yeah. Okay, this is 26, so can we get a roll call?
DeHaan.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Palmer. Yes. Wonderjub.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Hybord.
Yes.
Casework pass.
The LPDA for Phoenix Interiors at $72,975. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Can I get a roll call?
Klein.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
DeHaan.
Yes.
Palmer. Yes. Wonderjub.
Yes.
And Hybord.
Yes.
Pass. LPDA.
Flooring.
Okay. This will be the new motion then for the flooring,
Yes.
to go with the second lowest bid
Correct. Yes.
with River City.
Right. So flooring with River City. 1 second, let me get to that page. At $23,930. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support. Can I get a roll call vote?
Okay, Palmer, yes. Gardine.
Yes.
DeHaan.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Wonderjub.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Hybord.
Yes.
Pass River City flooring.
For the remainder, for painting with Galveston's for $759, for the fire protection with Triad Fire Suppression for $21,400, for DDC controls with Train $9,995, for the mechanical and plumbing with Lampier Service Company $96,835, for the electrical with Excel for $119,200, communications with Moss at $5,868. Electronic security with Solar Technology for $13,009, and then commissioning the functional consulting services for $3,000. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call?
Wonderjub.
Yes.
Palmer, yes. Klein.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
DeHaan.
Yes.
Hybord.
Yes.
Pass. All the rest.
All right, great. Fantastic. Should have done that earlier.
There you go.
Good group together. Live and learn, live and learn. There you go. All right, on to 4E, the GHS course proposal for the computer science. AP Computer Science, apologize. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following proposal of an AP Computer Science A course for Grandville High School. The course will broaden participation in computing while providing a strong and engaging introduction to fundamental areas of the discipline. There are no costs to start or run this program. Current staff will be utilized to teach the course, and there are several AP-approved course outlines with web-based instruction and learning materials available free through MOOC's massive online open courses. All right. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
So very excited to have a few of our high school experts here. So you guys want to come on up and give us a little overview of this.
All right, I'll turn it over here to Chris in just a second. Chris is our instructional technology coach, but also he's teaching the aeronautics class, so you guys remember that too. So, real quick context to this, AP Computer Science A is the higher level programming class that is out there. We have computer science principles, AP Computer Science principles currently at the high school. And that was a newer class to College Board several years ago. It's that entry-level coding, and it's computer science. It's very accessible for every student in there. Computer Science A is your higher level course that we talked about. We've looked at this over the course of redesigning our computer science standards and alignment, K-12, to look at what that looks like as computer science becomes more and more integrated into the workforce in our future, right? Had a chance to talk with several former students at Grandville, or who graduated from Grandville, and talked about different pathways that they've had that they've gone into with computer science or engineering, and talked about wishing that they would have had an opportunity like this. So we feel it's time now, as we've restructured some things throughout the district with computer science, that we bring AP Computer Science to the high school. So I'm going to let Chris talk a little bit about that, and we'll go from there.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, so I've been teaching with AP since I started teaching back in 2000. And this is kind of one of those classes to kind of round out some of the AP courses that we offer. It's equivalent to a one-semester college class. And it kind of starts with Java programming, and then gets into different hierarchies of programming, higher level programming skills that we don't have access to for our students right now. Some of the students are coming to us through robotics, doing it on their own. They're like, hey, I want to do this, I want to learn. And we're like, well, we don't have anything for you. We do have AP Computer Science principles, but that's like a real basic introduction to programming. In this course, they would actually run programs, they would find bugs in other programs, and they would develop higher level programs that they would have to run, and then they get credit for that. Like Adam said, a lot of the schools look for these kind of programs if you're trying to get into their engineering programs or computer science programs. So I give these students a leg up on that. And these are students coming to us, right, asking us for this kind of programming. So it's kind of on us to offer that and kind of see where it goes from there. But it's been successful at other schools, and it's kind of just the next thing. There's so many jobs out there available with just kids, coming with like a bachelor's degree, and this is the introductory course to any of that. So, questions about the course?
Are there any schools that don't accept the AP?
There are many schools that don't give credit for
This
AP.
one, this credit, this class.
This specific class?
Like State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Western, Central. Do they allow that?
Yeah, the selective schools that that are nearby, I couldn't speak for, all over the country.
Yeah, I'm not looking for
Yeah,
what-
but our selective schools like Michigan and things like that accept this.
Yes, it would be like Stanford, Yale, whatever.
It just depends on the score too, right? I mean, some
And it
schools
depends on
like
the
a
score,
3,
yeah.
some
Five.
require a
Right.
4, some require a 5, right?
Right. Michigan.
I will say though, that it's nice to have those AP classes, even if your student is not getting a 5 and they're not getting credit, or if they go to a school where there's not necessary credit, those students are so prepared for those classes when they go into them, that even the test at the end, we have students that take the AP courses and don't even take the tests. So I think that it's really great to have that as an opportunity, because it really prepares our students well.
Yes, in this class, they're getting a year to do what they would normally be doing in a semester in college. So they get kind of the high school hand-holding a bit, they get more one-on-one attention, they're in that class 5 days a week, not 2 or 3, and they get a whole year to complete the curriculum instead of one semester.
And based on what you said, Adam, I mean, hey, students want it.
Yeah.
That, I have not heard that very often when we've added a course. So, yeah, my hat's off to you guys for driving it.
Any idea how many students like for the first year?
So we won't know that until,
Right.
but we have a handful of kids piloting it this year. We've had 3 or 4 kids piloting it and just kind of learning, what the difference is and things like that, working with Dave Saylor, who does the AP Computer Science Principles classes, and they've enjoyed it. It is a rigorous, tough class. It's been around a lot longer than the Computer Science Principles, but they've enjoyed it. But I can see anywhere from, a section at first to growing a little bit. I don't see it, probably taking up 5 sections, but then again, who knows, as computer science gets more and more integrated into the workforce.
Yeah.
And speaking on Dave's behalf, because he couldn't make it, he sent me an email just saying, hey, just make sure you mention these couple of things. So he's the one that would be teaching the class, and he's the one that's teaching the AP Computer Science principles currently. So he wanted to mention that, you know, with the AP Computer Science principles, he does get kids that get really interested in coding, but there's no path forward from that other than college. So he wanted me to mention that. And then there's kids that go to sign up for his class and then find out that it's really just an introduction to coding, and then they don't take it because they're like, I do this at home on my spare time, or I've been doing this with RoboDogs, you know, I need advanced programming. This doesn't give me that, so I'm not going to sign up. So we have kids interested, like I'm saying, this is just given case in point, that we have kids interested in taking the class, but we're just not offering it currently.
So just out of curiosity, how often are you thinking you're going to have to change the curriculum to keep up with the times and keep up with I mean, because if anything, right? I mean, this is one that will continue to move fast on you, right? It's, I would say algebra is algebra, right? You know, but this is something that's going to constantly be moving on you.
I think the College Board will continue to change the curriculum and school sequence because it's a College Board, you know, curriculum with AP. But this AP Computer Science has been around for what?
30 years?
Yeah, for a while.
Okay.
And so, I mean, you got to imagine, you know, they have to continue to adapt and redesign the curriculum, the resources as, you know, as they become available. And now to have so many open source pieces and be able to have all that, because, you know, these corporations and companies and employers are feeding some of that too, so that way they can get people into the workforce there.
Right, like currently the whole course is based on JavaScript programming, which it hadn't existed when this course first started. So it's probably like C++ at the beginning. And so as the course evolves, so does the content.
And this is also just great. It's an area of need in the U.S. I've been working in tech for 8 years now, and every single company I've worked for has outsourced outside of the United States because we can't find coders that can work to the proficiency level and the speed that we use here.
So let me get this straight. We've got a class that's going to better some of our students. They're asking for it, and it costs us nothing.
Win-win-win. Yeah.
Will there be a prerequisite for it, or?
Yeah, we listed the prerequisites. Basically, they just need some introductory calculus, and so we're also added AP pre-calculus, and calculus would be fine, AP calculus, but they need some basic understanding of advanced algorithms to be able to do the.
And you're going to give an answer to the teacher, you know, or when the students say, when am I ever going to use this? Well, I'll tell you what.
Right now.
Do this AP.
Somebody will hire you tomorrow.
Right, exactly, right? Exactly.
Are we one of the few schools offering this also, or are we?
So at our OK Principals meeting, I did a survey of who's offering AP Computer Science A, and there's a handful. It's not prevalent across West Michigan yet, but we would be, you know, one of about 8, 9, 10 other schools.
It's so cool that we compare that to the best aeronautic stuff, and it's just, it's great.
Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion? All right.
Yeah. You want a roll call?
No, no roll call needed.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That's great.
4F, Neola policy number 2, or second reading and approval. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following revisions to bylaws and policies. The bylaws and policies are as follows. Neola policies, board policy, do I need to read all those? 0122 board powers, board policy 1420, school administrator evaluation, board policy 3131 staff reductions, board policy 3142 probationary teachers, board policy 3220 professional staff evaluation, board policy 3120 employment of professional staff, board policy 3139 staff discipline, board policy 3130 assignment and transfers, board policy 3132 vacancies, and board policy 3140 termination and resignation. Can I get a motion?
Support.
And you've had these for some time. We reviewed them last time with that first reading. You have the summary before you, and again, the changes here mainly are due to the Public Employment Relations Act, PERA, and the changes that happened there, and some of changes that took place in the revised school code. So some of these are officially into law February 13th, while some of them will be later on in July 1, 2024. So any questions?
So I stated some of my concerns at the last reading, and when I got on the board, sorry I do this, and I'm probably going to keep doing it, but I'm the old guy. The person who sat across from me was Stan Ponstein. Stan Ponstein got on the board when he was 18 years old, spent 20 years on the board. And my very first meeting, and every meeting that we had, he would always say, we keep losing local control. This is a loss of local control, and it just aggravates me because I know what's best for Grandville, not the legislature. This was a political move, and I will tell you all right now, I won't be voting in favor of it.
Any other discussion?
No, I think Bob's right. I think it is a political move, but I think we're.
On all of them?
I think we're stuck.
Are all of them in a political move?
No.
Okay,
No, I
just a
don't think all
few
of
that you're,
Yeah.
Can you point them
It just
out?
seems like they're just, it's just a little bit more of loss of control.
What
that
we say
know
happens.
best. Yeah, that's just my feeling. but
Okay.
Which part?
I would-
like staff
Keep all their
discipline or?
Give me an example of one. I don't know.
Well, just the.
Staff evaluation.
I don't know, just overall.
The very first one, 0122. They're adding these list of the prohibited subjects of bargaining. So,
Yeah.
that's one. They've changed the evaluation system, that's no big deal. Staff reductions and recalls, that's part of it's no longer a prohibitive subject of bargaining. The administration now has its hands tied. They have to kiss up to the union, and the union has to, they're in this negotiating war. This thing ended many years ago where we're trying to do what's best for this district. We're the best stewards for this district. Why do we have assistant superintendents and a superintendent? It's getting to the point where I'm not going to rubber stamp stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. If you actually read through these changes, you would see where we've lost power.
Well, I can read through them and disagree too.
You can. I'm giving you my opinion. You wanted some examples.
I do.
I decided to give you a couple. And I'm very passionate
I don't want to rubber
about
stamp the
this.
statement that we're losing control of the board either. That's why I asked for some examples so that we're clear on record of what those examples are. Sometimes we change policy to align with laws that are beyond us.
Yes.
Right.
It's always good. You know what? Sometimes we have to test the waters. I'm not afraid to test the waters.
I just think there's a time and place to test them. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not. I'm not saying this isn't, just saying sometimes if we wanted to test them, we can test them with our legislature too. I'm not willing to risk our students, our funding, our protections, to always put my finger in the middle of everything.
Well, the superintendents were not in favor of these.
I'd like to hear more about that.
Any further discussion?
Was it brought up at superintendents in terms of, are other
Probably-
districts concerned, I guess?
Probably the best way I can explain is back before the right to work legislation happened and took all of this out. There was a pendulum that was here, and now that pendulum is here.
Okay.
I would rather have it here, and this or this does nothing for us because it's the same amount of stuff we have to work through. I'd rather it be balanced, but either way, it's not. So I wouldn't say this is good or bad. I would say it's a complete swing of the pendulum the other way. So from where it was.
Yeah, where it was.
If it were here and it went that way, I would be saying the same thing right now on it. Because I think it does creates work for us.
Does it tie our
when it
hands?
swings that much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we don't use this policy, do you
Well,
have any
these
ideas?
are kind of laws.
They're laws.
And I wouldn't want to break them.
Okay, just want to be sure.
I won't break them.
You will not.
No, I won't.
And we could say no, and you still would
I
follow
would
the
not
law.
I would not recommend that any of us break the law.
That's all I have.
Any further discussion? All right. Would you like roll call, or do you want to have a regular vote? Okay.
It doesn't matter.
All right, fair enough. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed?
No.
Motion passes. That concludes the regular action, and we'll move into public comment. Mr. DeHaan, if you would. Yes, please. All right, we have 3 public comment cards here. As a reminder, you have 5 minutes. Mr. DeHaan will keep track for you and give you a warning at 1 minute left. So first up, we have Michelle Thomas. Okay, thank you. Up next, Lynn Jansen.
Hello, board. Lynn Jansen, 109 Stonehenge. Couple little housekeeping things first. I love seeing Mr. Scotto here today. He's been a great addition to Grandview. Kids seem to love him. Parents seem to love him. So, nice job, whoever hired Mr. Scotto. I happen to sit on a couple of other boards. Another housekeeping item, and I'm not a parliamentarian, but I think that Robert's rules allow you to go 3 amendments deep, and should you utilize that in the future, the meeting might go a little quicker. A sub-amendment could have sped up one of these votes a little earlier. Over the last at the last board meeting, we heard from a teacher that had been one of my son's favorites. Mr. O'Brien, it seems, was accused of both sexual harassment and/or harassment of another teacher in the building. Our own YouTube page allowed employee of the MEA to further demean him on a website that's controlled by the school. I understand those comments have been taken down, but it certainly shows that for this particular teacher, that the Michigan Education Association does not have his back. They're trying to further cast aspersions on his name, and maybe that's appropriate. I don't know what happened, but it seems to me that one of 2 things happened. Either Mr. O'Brien sexually harassed and/or harassed another teacher in the school, in which case it would be appropriate for there to be disciplinary action, or there's another teacher in the school that, for whatever reason, made the false allegation, at which point there should also be disciplinary action. I've tried to get to the bottom of it. We've done some FOIA requests. We've got some disturbing declinations back from the school. The school says that we don't have the right to see the complaint I would suggest that if Title IX requires us to hide someone's identity, that simply, what's the word where you black it out? Redacting it. You could accomplish that goal. If someone's identity needs to be concealed in that way, I would prefer that it not be, obviously. I've got kids still coming up through those classes, and I'd like to know if there's a teacher in the school district that has an anti-Christian bias, I'd like to keep my children out of his or her class. If there's a teacher who sexually harasses other teachers in the district, I'd like to keep my students out of his class. I'd like to be able to find out what the truth of the matter is, and I hope that this board also is curious about the truth of the matter and tries to find some justice in one way or the other. Thank you.
Next up, thank you, Mr. Jansen. Next up, Ann McCarthy.
Good evening, I'm Ann McCarthy. I live at 3889 Woodstream Drive. I am here tonight just to publicly recognize our Grandville High School Symphonic Winds Band and just bring to light the tremendous privilege they had to perform at DeVos Performance Hall on Friday, December 26th. It was such an amazing experience, and I think if you're not involved in the band, because even as a band mom, it didn't really hit me until we were there, what a privilege this was. We have not performed there since 1990, and the students did a phenomenal job after 5 months of practice. And even in the words of Mr. Garcia, our band director, who is not a man who expresses much emotion, especially positive emotion sometimes, is he told the kids, like, they performed better than he ever thought they could. And he knew they would do good. He knew they were ready. So, and they were the talk of the conference, our band was. Mr. Garcia was just radiating with pride. Even this past weekend, we were at another band event, and someone came up to Mr. Garcia to acknowledge our band. So I just want to, again, thank you guys for supporting our band, acknowledge our wonderful band program that starts in elementary school. The middle school and high school band directors collaborate so well. They are a true team, and it's just a privilege to see. And also to acknowledge our students. We also had 10 students perform, well, let me backtrack. The next day, we had 1 middle school student in the all-state band for middle school, 2 high school students in the all-state band, and 1 student who was principal flute in the all-state orchestra. So that is amazing. Out of 2,800 kids who applied and auditioned, only 400 kids made it, and we had 4 of our students there. So I would like to invite you all to our upcoming events on Sunday the 11th. Our high school bands have their pre-festival concerts at the high school, and then we have the middle school and high school festivals that are held at the high school also upcoming. So again, thank you for your support for the band. It's just a phenomenal program, and I'm glad that my kids are a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. All right. That concludes our meeting. The next regular meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be Monday, February 19th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the administration building. We are adjourned.